Hey kids, so before we start learning our new concept, I wanted to go ahead and review really quickly the passive. The first thing you should remember about the passive is our endings are ris, ter, mer, mini, and enter. Okay, but it's important also to know what those actually mean. What they do is in a regular active sentence, the subject creates the action. So let's say the girl loves the doll. Okay? So here the girl is our subject, and she is doing the loving. So this is an active sentence. She's actually doing something. Whereas in a passive sentence, the subject is having something done to it. Here, the doll is being loved by the girl. All right, so in this sentence, the subject is just kind of sitting there letting something happen to it. All right, also there's the English word being in there. That word indicates the passive to us. So in Latin, instead of having being, we would just use are, ris, ter, mer, mini, enter. Now, within the passive voice, we've already learned 3 tenses. Those tenses are the present, the imperfect, and the future. Now, while they all use a version of are, ris, ter, mer, mini, enter, there are vowels before some of them that can change things, or tense markers. But before we get into that, let's make sure we know how to translate it. So the present is, or are, being, whatevered. Imperfect is was or were being blanked, and the future is will be blanked. Okay, so then you're talking about, okay, well, what are the letters that mark the tenses? Imperfect is always marked by BA. And remember, right now we're talking about regular verbs. For the future, it's marked by B and something else, or the endings for third and fourth conjugation, and I'm just going to kind of write this right here. AR, and then ERIS, ETUR, EMUR, E-mini, and enter. Okay, so you've kind of got to be comfortable with the dictionary entry in order to find them. So we've seen those before, and those always look like, you know, one word. So here's an example. Like amateur. Okay, so he is being loved. Or amabater. He was being loved. Or finally, bitter. He will be loved. So that's what we've seen so far. So we've done half the tenses in the passive voice, but now we've got to do the other half of the tenses. So the other tenses that we need to learn are called the perfect passive, the future perfect passive, and the pluperfect passive. And you guys have actually learned these before, but they were in the active. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop, and I'm going to go get the notes for the 3 perfect system passives, and we're going to do those.